Hi, good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
morning
sir.
po.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, let's start. Medyo marami tayong kailangan i-discuss. Okay, so good morning. Our topic for today is chapters 21 to 23, which covers both fiscal and monetary policy. What we will be doing is that we will try to cover as many topics as possible kasi yung exam nyo this coming Sunday. Okay. Sige, let's start. These are just the chapters concepts that were discussed by ma'am. So let's start with consumption and investment. We already know yung consumption function where you have it is, well, for simplicity, it is just a function of disposable income. So we have your C, your consumption of the household is equal to your A, which represents the level of consumption that is independent of income. So, for example, regardless kung meron kang pera or wala, you still need to eat food, and these are expenses. So that represents A. And yung kasunod is your disposable income. So out of your disposable income, we already know that a portion of it will be consumed and a portion of it will be saved. Right? So there are other functions, there are other factors that could affect your consumption. Yung sinasabi sa discussion ni ma'am, where you have your personal income, you also have your wealth, and let's say for example, business cycle, that the way the economy moves up and down could also determine and affect your consumption. Okay, but however, for simplicity, we will just assume that your consumption is a function of your disposable income. And I think this, alam niyo na talaga to, yung graph ng function ng ating function. So this BYD, your disposable income. This be your consumption. Okay. What we need to do is that we draw a 45-degree line to represent. This represents points wherein your consumption is equal to your disposable income. So that's 45 degrees. Now, so suppose we have a consumption function that shows a graph like this. Okay, let this be C. This is C equal to A plus BYD. Okay, and this is your A. Okay, as yung sa discuss ni ma'am, this is your break-even point wherein your consumption is exactly equal to your disposable income. Okay, note however that since your disposable income is C plus S, it follows that we can also graph our savings function. So in this case, you can also have S here, and saan nakalagay si S? That is just if so since that is the case, YD is equal to C plus S, and then YD is equal to A plus BYD plus S. That should give you S equal to negative A plus 1 minus B. That's minus B YD. Tama? So the intercept of your savings function is negative A. Hinahanap natin dito, let this be negative A. So ito yung first part point niya. Then medyo hindi siya ganun ka-clear, pero at the point wherein your consumption is equal to 0 is also the point wherein consumption is equal to your YD is also the point wherein your savings is equal to 0. So connect na lang natin yung both. Suppose dapat medyo parallel yan sila, pero ganyan na lang natin, no? For the sake of this. So we have your S equal to negative A plus 1 minus B YD. Okay. This just to show that at the point wherein points before the break-even point, you are actually this saving. Okay, and the point wherein after the break-even point, the household is now starting to save. Okay, before the break-even point, negative savings. After the break-even point, positive savings. Okay, so yan na yung relationship between ng consumption function and ng savings function. Okay, take note that your B here is what you call the marginal propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume pertains to the extra peso spent on consumption per extra peso increase in your disposable income. Okay, this is the same way your 1 minus B represents your MPS, which is your marginal propensity to save. Again, this is the extra peso that is saved for every extra peso increase in your disposable income. Okay, now question. If MPC, if MPC is equal to 0.6, does this mean that 60%, of the income of the person goes to consumption? Does it follow? Does it follow ba? Sige, I'll ask na lang. Sige, Zedrix, does it follow that if the MPC is 0.6, does it follow that 60% of the income of the person goes to consumption?
Yes.
You agree with it?
If MPC is 0.6, 60% is every peso earned is 0.6 pesos is consumed. Is that right, sir?
Take note lang that your consumption function is given by A plus BYD. And suppose your B is equal to 0.6. Okay, does it mean that the 60% of the income of the person goes to consumption?
No, sir, because MPC only refers to every extra income earned.
Right, that's correct. So take note lang of that, that MPC only corresponds to the 60% of the additional increase, additional peso in your disposable income. Okay, so it doesn't follow. This is wrong. This is a wrong statement. Okay, that 60% of your income goes to consumption. Okay, in PC only tells us that for every extra peso increase in disposable income, 60% of it goes to consumption. In the same way, then sa savings, no? For every extra peso increase in your disposable income, 40% goes to savings. Okay. Okay. Now, in equilibrium, okay, so, pwede ko na siguro itong i-delete. Clear? In equilibrium, we know that aggregate supply should always be equal to aggregate demand. Okay, and that since AS is equal to AD, it should follow that AS, since it represents output, AD, which is measured by your C plus I plus V plus X. So it follows that AS is equal to AD, then Y is equal to C plus I plus V plus X. And in a closed economy, I, your investment, is equal to savings. And in an open economy, I plus X is equal to savings. Okay. Okay. Now, let's do So, you share whiteboard. Okay. Okay. So, we have, diba, C is equal to A plus BYD. Okay? In equilibrium, okay? In equilibrium, since this is just an economy where there is only consumption, there are only households, it follows that Y income, total output, total income is just equal to C. Right? Kasi di ba, in the case where, so, di ba, equilibrium Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus X. Since wala pa si I, G, and X, Y is equal to C. So that is equal to A plus BY. Okay, since there are no government, there are no other forms of taxes, then YD is equal to Y. So in equilibrium, Y1 is just equal to A over 1 minus B. Okay, this is your Y1. Okay, suppose, so graph niyan natin. Ayan. It's 45 degrees. Ayan. C is equal to A plus BY. You have your C here. And this is your big C. Sorry. This is A. Okay. Now suppose there is an I. Okay, there is an I. It's not equal to 0. Okay. So now we have in equilibrium, Y is equal to C plus I. Right? So this is Y2 na. In equilibrium, Y2 is equal to A plus BY. Take note that Y here is equivalent to YD kasi wala namang taxes kaya we just represent YD as equal to Y. Okay, plus I. Okay, so rearranging terms, your Y2 is equal to A over 1 minus B plus I over 1 minus B. Okay, so this is simply Y1 plus I over 1 minus B. So, ang idea is that suppose merong exogenous na investment na papasok sa economy, okay? Instead of just having this, and this represents Y1. Lagay natin. This represents Y1. Okay, that's Y1. Okay? Because of the presence of a non-zero investment, your function, your expenditure now increases by the value of your I. So motion dito. Let's say for example that is the case. This represents C plus I. Okay, with a new equilibrium Y2. And just take note as well that yung difference, yung vertical difference nito is just equal to I. Okay, yung vertical difference ng dalawang line is just equal to I. Okay. Okay, so meron tayong Y2. Suppose we have G. This is not equal to 0 as well. Okay, wala pa tayong numbers So in equilibrium, Y3 now is now equal to C plus I plus G. Okay, so Y3 is equal to A plus BY plus I plus G. So arranging terms, you will have A over 1 minus B plus I over 1 minus B plus G over 1 minus B. Right? And this term, this whole term is simply y2. So that is equal to y2 plus G over 1 minus B. Okay. Now, because of the presence of G, mag-shift ulit yung expenditure graph mo. So here, C, I, and G. Here, this Y. Yan. So shift siya agad ulit. Yan. This now represents C plus I plus G. And you now have a new equilibrium, Y3. Okay. Now, so now we have that one. However, there is a concern. Saan kukuha ng pera si government? Usually, ang ginagawa ng government is nagtatax siya. So suppose you have a head tax or a lump sum tax, P, not equal to 0. Okay? Thus, in equilibrium, because of the presence of BT, okay, your consumption is now defined as A plus B, Y minus T, right? Your YD is just after tax income. That's Y minus T. So you now have A plus BY minus BT. Okay, so in equilibrium, okay, Y4 is equal to C plus I plus G pa din. Okay, C plus I plus G pa din. So you'll have Y4 now equal to A plus BY minus BT plus I plus G. Okay, so Y4 is now equal to A over 1 minus B plus I over 1 minus B plus G over 1 minus B plus, minus B over 1 minus B. Or just basically, this one here is equal to Y3 plus, minus B over 1 minus B big T. Ay, masulat na. Yan, big T. Okay, so, if, okay, so, ito ha, ulitin ko din ulit, hindi ko pala nasabi. This is equal to G. Okay, that is equal to G. Yung vertical difference nila. So, if, okay, so this one, this is equal to A, right? Yung vertical difference ng consumption mo from the income is equal to A. Now, yung vertical difference ng C sa C plus I is simply I. Yung vertical difference ng C plus I to sa C plus I plus G is basically G. Pero, yung difference ng Y1, Y2, Y3 is covered by your multiplier here. Okay? Yung difference ng Y1 sa Y2 mo is I over 1 minus B. 1 minus B. Yung difference ng Y2 sa Y3 mo is G over 1 minus B. Okay? I hope makuha nyo yan. Vertical difference, yung increase mismo. So let's say for example, if I is 40, then this is 40. If G is 30, then that G is 30. Okay? However, because of the multiplier effect, yung horizontal difference ng break-even points mo is captured by the multiplier. Okay, now. Okay, question. Ay, in addition to that, if in a given lump sum, lump sum tax, okay, if G is equal to T, okay, if the government expenditure is 35, or let's for example 30, and the lump sum tax that it imposes is also 30, okay, then, okay, change in your Y, equilibrium income, YE, is just equal to G, or equal to T. This is what you call the balanced multiplier effect. Okay, so if ito yung case if the government expenditure is just equal to the amount of taxes that it imposes, okay, to the households, or in this case kasi households lang yung may tax. Okay, if G is equal to T, then the change in your equilibrium income is just equal to the government expenditure or to the tax imposed to the households. Nakuha? So, ito yung parang sinasabi ni Ma'am that the balance multiplier effect is equal to 1. Diba? In this case kasi, diba, the multiplier is 1 over 1 minus B. Right? For I, 1 over 1 minus B yung multiplier. For G, 1 over 1 minus B yung multiplier. Okay? However, if the government, balanced budget, okay? If G is equal to T, meaning balanced budget, whatever comes in, goes out, okay? Whatever comes in, goes out in balanced budget. Okay, if G is equal to T, then your change in YE is just equal to the expenditure released by the government or to the taxes imposed to the households. Okay, yan yung balance multiplier effect. Okay, may question ba? May question ba? Wala, let's have an exercise. Okay, suppose we have C is equal to 160 plus 0.6 YD. Okay? Okay. For all these questions, what we need to determine is the equilibrium income. Okay? The equilibrium level of disposable income of YD. And the equilibrium level of consumption. Okay, for every, let's start with C, then we will introduce I, then we will introduce G, and then we will introduce T. Okay? Okay. Sige. I'll call names. Let's have Adrian. Adrian. What is the equilibrium income, level of income if C is equal to 160 plus 0.6 YD? Adrian, are you here with us? Valerio? Ay, okay. Sige, lag daw siya. Let's move on na lang kay Eliza. Eliza? Are you here with us? Lahat. Okay, Angel Almido. Angel? Wala. Camille? Calda?
Sir, ano po, pwede po bang pasolve na lang po muna nitong number, then yung sa susunod na lang po ay
Okay.
try po namin sagutan. Thank you po.
Sige. Okay, sige. Sige, let's answer muna. Okay. So, In equilibrium, y is equal to c, right? Ito yung general rule. General rule sa equilibrium is that y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x. Close economy muna tayo. And since we only have, yung given lang natin is c, so we have y is equal to c. So that is 160 plus 0.6 y. Okay, so let's have this y1 na lang. Let's label this as y1. Okay, so you have 0.4 y1, tama? Equal to 160. Calculate lang ako. Calculate. Okay. So your y1 is equal to 160 divided by 0.4. 400. Okay. And what is your level of this disposable income? YD is also equal to 400. Kasi wala naman taxes. Right? And what is the equilibrium level of consumption? C1. Simply you plug in 160 plus 0.6 of 400. So 0.6 times 400 plus 160, that should give you 400. Kasi in this case, ano lang naman eh, C, y1 equal to c. Okay? Now, suppose there is an I. Yes, Zandra. May question?
Sir, may I ask po sana kung saan po galing yung 0.4 ulit?
Ay, okay. Di ba nilipat natin si 0.6? So y1 minus 0.6 y1, that would give you 0.4 y1.
Noted, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Okay. Suppose we have an exogenous investment, okay, of 150. Okay. What is the new equilibrium level of income? Adrian, may okay na ba yung internet mo?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, sige. Given this na numbers, what is the equilibrium income? You can dictate or you can annotate naman kung if you want.
Y is equals to C plus
Okay.
I.
Y2 is equal to C plus I. Okay, and then
Tapos copy po yung ano,
sige,
yung
160
kanina.
plus 0.6 Y1.
Right? Tapos plus yung ano,
Okay.
150.
Tapos,
Then ano po, transpose po yung 0.6 magiging 0.4 Y2 po.
Y4
Tapos
equal to
160 plus 150 is 310 po.
Then,
Tapos divide po yung 310 by 0.4.
okay, this is 775. Now, what is your disposable income?
77 no.
What is disposable income?
775 din po.
Right, that's correct. Since there are no taxes, what is your consumption?
160 plus 0.6 po multiply to 775.
Yeah, that's correct. So that should give you 160. 775 times 0.6. That's 65. Okay. Or you can simply use your y2 is also simply, if you can still remember, y2 is simply y1 plus I over 1 minus b, right? Yeah, so previous discussion natin. So this is 400, right? Plus alternatively, okay, 400 plus 150 over 0.4. Okay, let me just check. 150 divided by 0.4 is 375. Plus 375, so you'll have 775. Okay, now, okay, let's expand this. Suppose government expenditure is 150. Okay. And taxes, lump sum taxes is equal to 150 as well. Okay. Ito, meaning dito, balanced budget. Okay. Okay, Camille, can you answer? What is Y3?
Y3 po, equal to Y2.
Mhm.
Y2 plus I over 1 minus B. Ay, G po. G po pala. G over 1 minus B.
Tapos,
Tapos, ang Y2 po ay 775.
kulang, may kulang pa.
Ay, kulang pa po. Isasolve pa po.
Kasi may taxes na tayo dito. At merong minus
Opo, minus T.
B over 1 minus B.
Apa.
Oh, okay, sige. Y2 is
Y2 ay yung 775. Tapos yung 150 minus 1 minus. Ay, hindi.
4.4.
Sige po. Tapos minus. Ganun din po ba?
What is
Ang B
B?
po ay 0.4.
B? What is your B? 0.6.
0.6 okay.
Ah,
Over 0.4 times 150.
okay, what's the answer?
Wait lang po. Ikakalikyo ko lang po. 7 minus 150.4 0.6. Ay, wait. 0.6 times wait lang po. 775 plus 375 po, no? Minus 2. 925 po.
What is 775 minus 920? What is 925? Wait, change in your Y is Y3 minus Y2. Okay? That should give you 925 minus 775. Hindi ko masulat. 775. And what is this? Equal to?
150 po.
Right, 150. Is this familiar?
Yun pong sa tax.
Yes. Ito yung sinasabi na balanced budget multiplier. Okay? Yung sinabi ko kanina, when there is a balanced budget, meaning the expenditure na ni-release ng government is just equal to the lump sum taxes na inimpose niya. The change in your Y is simply equal kung ano yung amount na yun. Which is 150. Nakuha? Okay. Now, suppose hindi balanced budget. Okay, suppose hindi balanced budget. See. Ay, may question ba? Yes, yung head tax is just equal to, same lang sa lump sum. Okay, let's have Diane Roslaines. Are you here with us? Diane?
Yes po, sir. Pero di ko po alam kung paano. Di ko po ganun kagets po kung paano siya isolve.
Sige lang. Let's suppose instead of 150 na taxes, we have tax na equal to 100. So hindi na siya balanced budget. What is our equilibrium income? Wait lang ha. Let's proceed muna dito. Hindi pala natin to na-solve, no? Hindi pa to na-solve. Hindi pa tayo tapos. What is our disposable level of income at Y3? Camille, balik tayo sa iyo, Camille. Balikan kita, Diane. Okay? Camille?
Okay po, sir.
Yes, what is equilibrium level of disposable income? What is YD? YD is simply Y minus D. Right? Tama? Do you agree, Camille? Can you hear me? Ayan, Camille.
Hello po.
Yes. Tama ba?
Ah,
YD is equal to Y minus D.
yun pong sa... Opo.
Yes, so that's correct. So what is Y natin? Y, this is Y, Y3.
Yun po yung yung 925 po,
Yeah,
yung
that's
Y3 natin.
925 minus 150. Right? So what is your
Opo.
level of income?
775 po.
No. 925 minus 150? Tama ba?
Hindi po 775. 925 po minus
Yeah, tama.
150.
775. That's correct. 775. What is your consumption? C3? Cumulative consumption? Plug in lang natin, no? 160 plus 0.6 times 775. Which is also equal.
6 times.
Okay,
625 po.
Right.
Ay, ewan.
Okay. Questions? Okay, Nan. Let's go back.
Question lang po.
Yes. Go.
Para po sa third situation, yung equilibrium level of income po natin at saka po yung equilibrium level of YD is 775 po. Same lang po.
No. Y3 natin is 925. Level of income is 925. Equilibrium level of disposable income is 775.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay. Sige. Let's have Diana. Okay, so post T is equal to 100. Dito na tayo sa taas.
Ayan po, sir. Parang tulad lang din po ng, parang computation, yung solution po dun kay Camille, pero papalitan lang po ng 100 yung sa taxes po.
Yes, that's
So, bali po mangyayari is 775 plus 100 over 0.4 minus 0.6 over 0.4 times 100 po. Bali mangyayari po.
Sorry.
Ayan, sige po. Go lang po.
775 plus
100 divided by 0.
Hindi 100. Your G is still on 50.
Ay, opo, 150.
Okay, don't forget.
Divided by 0.4
Yes.
minus 0.6 divided by 0.4 times 100 po.
So, what should be the answer to that?
Ay, wait lang sir, computin ka lang po. 150. Ayan, minus 150.
Correct answer is 1135.
Ayan.
Okay, what is your YD?
Ayan po, yung YD po equals 1,135 minus 100 po.
Okay, so 1035. What is your C4?
Wait lang. Ayan, 160 plus 0 plus 0.6 times 1,035.
Okay. So that should give you 781. Okay, sulat ko lang ha. Para mag-graph natin. So you have your Y1 is equal to 400. Your Y2 is 775. Your Y3 is 925. Your Y4 is 113. Okay, so graphically, it should look like this. Yay. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, 45 pa yan. Okay. 45. So you have your C, I, and G, and then you have your Y. Okay? So first, equilibrium, you have your C. And this is equal to 400. Your next equilibrium, ayan, this is C plus I. Okay? That should give you 775. Okay? Your third equilibrium, okay, this is the equilibrium where there is no balanced budget. Okay? C plus I plus G, no balanced budget. No balanced budget. Okay, so this is 1,135. Ibahin lang natin yung isa. This is the balanced budget. Okay, ito lang ha. Let me just finish. This is the balanced budget. Okay. This is 925. Okay, let me explain this first. Okay. Take note that if the government, okay, chooses to have a balanced budget, then it would only, okay, it would only produce up to 925. But if the government chooses to spend more than what it earns, it would be able to increase the GDP and eventually, increase the output. It would push the economy up as it increases output to 1,135. Okay? Kaya ito yung sinasabi ni Ma'am na if the government wants to pump up the economy, it must increase its G rather than decreasing its T. Okay? O anong multiplier ni government? The multiplier government multiplier is just equal to 1 over 1 minus B. However, the tax multiplier, lump sum tax, okay? Lump sum tax multiplier in this case is B over 1 minus B. Okay, minus B. So which is bigger? Government multiplier. Hence, if the government wants to push the economy up, let's say for example in time of pandemic, yung mga tao wala masyadong binibili, businesses are not investing enough, then the government must spend more than what it earns to push the economy up rather than lower the taxes because yung multiplier ng tax is lower than the government multiplier. So it is more effective to increase expenditure more rather than lowering the tax of the people for them to purchase more goods. Okay? Kuha? Okay. Question, JZ.
Yung sa ano po sir, yung sa ano po, C plus I plus G po na no balanced budget. Di ba po 775 po plus 375 is equals to 1,150 po minus 150 po na yung para po dun sa tax. Bali magiging 1,000 po siya, di ba po? Paano po nakuha yung 1,135?
Here?
Opo, di ba po ano po?
That's 150 over 0.4 is 375, tama?
Opo, magiging 1,150 po. Tapos, opo, ito po. Tapos, ipag minus nyo po yung 150, magiging 1,000 lang.
1,150 yan? Let me check ha. Baka nakamali yung sum po. Okay, that's correct. 1,100. 1,000 lang to. Thank you for the correct.
Thank you po.
So this is only 1,000. Okay, thank you. So this is 900. Change na lang natin lahat. 900. Okay. 0.6. So this is 700. There it is. 900. So this is 700. Let's change. Oh no. This is okay. 1,000. 925. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Je. May question ka?
Hello, sir. Narinig po ba ako?
Yes, I can hear you.
Gusto ko lang po itanong, if hindi po balance yung government budget sa taxes, we would still use the same function po.
Yes. No difference between the idea of the balanced budget is that kung ano lang, if ever G is equal to T. But if not, you use the same formula that Y is equal. Yung general rule that Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus X. Okay. This holds true regardless of whether there is a balanced budget or not.
Sige po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. Then my question si Adrian, what is the difference between tax multiplier sa balanced budget multiplier? Tax multiplier is simply this one, B negative B over 1 minus B. Okay, so let me just show you. G times 1 over 1 minus B should be equal to T B, wait lang ha. Yeah. B over 1 minus B. Okay. Under a balanced budget, it follows that G should be equal to T. Yeah, right? So the idea is that if the only way for G and T to be equal is that your multiplier for both should be equal to 1. Ito yung sinasabi niyang that the balance multiplier pertaining to the government is equal to 1. Kaya every time that G is equal to T, okay, every time that G is equal to T, yung increase lang ng government mo is just equal to what is the value of G and T. In this case, di ba? In this case, 150. So, since balance sila, yung multiplier in the case na yun, so 150. In the balance multiplier is equal to 1 when G is equal to T. Yes, Zandra.
Tama po ba, sir, na yung G, constant po siya na 5 at saka yung tax multiplier 4, yung sa example ni ma'am, kaya 1 po yung balance multiplier always?
1 less.
Okay po, sir, pero hindi always constant na yung G is 5 at saka tax multiplier
Yes.
is 4. Okay po.
Hindi. Yeah. Always 1 less.
Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Okay, may questions pa? Okay, none. Sige. Let's proceed sa... Saan na ba tayo? Ayan. We'll not discuss na siguro yung monetary and financial system. I think yung function of money, you have your medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account, is already no. Yung cost of holding money just pertains to the foregone interest na dapat mong na-gain just so because you hold money other than any other asset. Okay, so this is close to the short-term interest rate. Okay, so let me just read yung may message si Hannah. Okay, okay. Hannah Bayo. If confirm lang, if gusto po itaas ang economy, increase in G po ba ang mas dapat i-utilize? Okay. If the government chooses to pump up the economy, meaning to increase output, okay, it is better for it to increase its expenditure, which is G, rather than decrease its taxes. Why? Again, because of their multipliers. The government multiplier is higher than the tax multiplier. Diba? Si government multiplier is 1 over 1 minus B. Si tax multiplier is negative B over 1 minus B. So which is higher? Si 1 over 1 minus B. So mas malaki yung impact niya sa economy rather than the taxes. So kaya if the economy is trying to reach its potential output, yung sinasabi ni ma'am na Y star, okay, Y star, how much should government expend? Would it try to decrease taxes or would it try to increase government expenditure? Then it would be better to increase government expenditure kasi mas malaki yung impact noon sa economy. I hope nasagot ko yung question mo, Hannah.
Thank you.
Okay, sige. Let's proceed. Money supply, I think yung M1, these are your, alam mo nila to, review nyo na lang yung transactions money, yung meron ka ngayon, money in circulation, and the check deposits. Yung M2, as you increase, kasama na yung savings deposit. Yung M3, kasama na yung time deposit, mga ganon. M4 is broad na masyado. Okay. And how is money created by banks? Ito yung sinasabi ni ma'am na the concept of reserve ratio. Okay? Sulat ko na lang. Sulat pa ko rin. Okay. Bank money is equal to the total reserve times 1 over the reserve ratio. Okay. Ito yung sinasabi ni ma'am na, kasi for example, si Bank 1, okay, Bank 1, meron siyang reserve, tapos meron siyang deposits. Okay. Suppose meron nag-deposit sa kanya ng 50 pesos. Okay. Hindi niya, ang gagawin ni Bank 1 is that hindi lahat 50 ilalagay niya sa reserve. Some of it will be circulated back to the economy through loans or through investments. So meron siyang, let's say for example, instead na 50, gawin niya lang 10. The rest, the 40 is pupunta sa as loans and investment. As loans and investment, this goes to Bank 2. So si Bank 2 meron siyang deposit na for 20% yung reserve dito. Let's say for example, 20% yung reserve requirement. Okay? So si Bank 2 na nag-umutang kay Bank 1, no, nagkaroon siya ng new deposit of 40. And because of the reserve requirement of 20, ang matitira sa kanya is ilan yung 20% ng 40? 8. Sa loans, ang loans and investment niya ay 32. Right? So si Bank 3 naman, dahil umutang siya sa Bank 2, nagkaroon siya ng deposit of 32. Then another 20%, which is 6.4. Okay, and the list goes on. So generally, ito yung way ng banks of somehow creating money. no? Creating money in the economy. Supposedly dapat ano lang 50 lang yung deposit. Okay, initially 50 lang talaga yung pera sa economy. But the bank money that was circulated is around 50 times 1 over 0.2. Yung may multiplier ka na. Times 5, naging 250 na siya. Okay, this is how banks do total. Do the in creating money. Okay? So that is money supply. However, take note that graphically, your money supply is fixed. Now, you somehow create money, but your money supply is fixed. Graphically, ito siya. Okay, this is your money, and this is your interest rate or the cost of holding money. Your money supply is vertical line. Okay, so since we're done with the money supply, let's proceed to money demand. Time pa ba? Okay, may 4 minutes pa. Money demand. Your money demand is kapag higher ang interest rate, okay, would you demand more money or not?
Less.
Sorry?
Less po.
Less dahil interest rate corresponds to the cost of holding money. So instead na mag-hold ka ng money, more likely mag-invest ka to other assets. So this explains why your money demand curve is downward sloping. MD. Okay, now, complete na tayo. Meron na tayong money supply and money demand. So meron na tayong equilibrium. Meron na tayong MS, M star, and then we have your I star. Okay, so how does the central bank impose monetary policy, and how does it affect yung aggregate demand mo, your output? Okay, open market operations. What are open market operations? Open market operations is that the central bank will buy securities or sell securities. When it tries to buy securities, it tries to increase money supply in exchange. So bibili siya ng securities from the people in exchange of money. So mangyayari is that magsishift si money supply. Magsishift si money supply to the right. Okay, MS1. Okay. If it sells money naman, if it's try to sell money, sell government securities, meaning nagbibigay siya ng bonds sa tao in exchange of money, it will try to decrease money supply. MS2. Okay. Ano naman yung discount window operations? Discount window operations is ito yung has to do with the discount rate. Ito yung kung uutang ang mga banks sa kanya, sa central bank, this is the additional cost. Discount rate. Okay? So when it tries to raise the discount rate, okay, it tries to decrease money supply. Meaning, mas mahal na yung mangutang sa central bank. Okay, it tries to decrease the money supply. If it tries to lower the discount rate, mas mura ng umutang sa central bank, then tataas yung money supply. Okay, the third one is the reserve requirements. 1 minute. Reserve requirements. When it tries to raise the reserve requirements, okay, when it tries to raise 20%, maging 40%, meaning less ang money circulating in the economy, okay, it tries to decrease the money supply. Okay, in this case, take note lang that we are looking at M1 only. Okay, M1 lang tong money supply na tinutukoy natin. Kaya when the central bank tries to increase reserve requirement, mas lumiliit yung money in circulation. Okay, so and on the other hand, if it tries to lower reserve requirement, then tataas yung money supply. Okay, now how then does the monetary policy affect aggregate demand? Okay, bilis lang to, mga 2 minutes na lang. So changes in your, as you can see here, changes in your money supply would affect your equilibrium interest rates. Okay, it would affect your equilibrium interest rates. As you can see, when movement of your supply, expansionary monetary policy would decrease interest rates. Contractionary monetary policy would increase interest rates. Now, how does then interest rate affect our aggregate demand? So, the changes in your money supply, money equilibrium, money affects your changes in your equilibrium interest rate. Tanggalin ko na lang yung yan. Star na lang gamitin. Okay. Now, how does interest rates affect our aggregate demand? It affects through our consumption, our investment, and even through our net exports. Okay, take note that there is an inverse relationship between investment and interest rates. Okay, the higher the interest rates, the lower the investments, because this is the cost of borrowing. Okay, and dyan papasok na yung changes in your aggregate demand. And when there are changes in your aggregate demand, there are changes in your P and Q. Okay. Questions? Nag-extend tayo ng 2 minutes. Are there any questions? Ito yung monetary transmission mechanism, yung sinusulat ko sa taas na grade. Questions? Sorry, hindi na.
May question po.
Yes, go.
Sir, about po sa exam, is it still 50 items po? 53?
Yes, 53.
Okay po, salamat po, sir.
Okay. May iba bang questions?
Sir, magkakaroon po ba ng guide questions for this week?
I'll ask sa mga colleagues ko. I'm not sure.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Meron pa ba ibang questions? If you have questions on our discussion question, you can just email me. My apologies for not being able to reply to your email last week. Medyo may internet connection ako na problem. Are there any questions? If none, that's all. And God bless sa exam.
Thank you po,
Thank you very
sir.
much.